First things first, let's create your driver.
Todd!
And now let's focus on your driver's look. Last but not least, we need to decide which team to sign with. Choose carefully. That's great, that's everything we need. You can go back and edit anything we've done so far, and we'll come back here at the start. Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
Hello folks, and welcome to Paddock Pass, your pre-race edition for this, the inaugural round of the 2021 Formula One World Championship. And I've got to say, it feels great to be back. As is tradition, there is something of an air of a first day back at school on arrival here. But it's more than that. It's a breath of fresh air. It's an element of normality in what has at times felt to be something of an abnormal world. Now, we were supposed to have a raft of new regulations this season, but as we know, they've been held back. Which does give all of these teams the opportunity to have a second bite at the cherry, one final chance to show what they can do in this era of Formula One. But the responsibility for results, as always, falls on the drivers. but with the cars at their disposal this year being very similar to the cars they had at their disposal last year, succeed, and they of course will put it all on themselves as a display of their innate skills and abilities. But the knife cuts both ways, because if they fail to succeed, there's absolutely nowhere for them to hide. The other question, though, remains as to which of these teams has been able to do the incredible, the impossible perhaps, with these regulations, and pull something out of the hat over the winter that gives them the march on their rivals. As always, we can't wait for this season to begin, but for now, from us, that's your luck.
This first race of the season is always quite difficult for us trackside, and for those back at the factory as well, as it's the first time the car has run since winter testing. The more consistent mileage you can get in these sessions, the happier we'll be.
The session has drawn to
Good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three: Todd, Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for
amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Looks like you had a great qualifying session. It looks like you've really been focusing on research and development this season. You didn't practice much this weekend. Are you safe? Appreciate your time.
Well done. Very solid result. You're looking good for the race.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. So here we are in 2021 at the start of another Formula One World Championship. It all begins here, Mercedes looking to retain their hold on the title, Red Bull seeking to secure their position as the main contender for that title. Ferrari no doubt hoping for a fresh start following their difficulties last year, and elsewhere on the grid, the prospect of some really exciting battles, including between the newly rebranded Aston Martin and Alpine teams. Lots to discuss then with Anthony Davidson, who's joined me in the commentary box for today's event.
It's good to be back, Crofty. Let's hope for some good racing today. We can't know at this point how competitive these teams are relative to each other, but hopefully nobody is able to run and hide. We want to see these drivers pushing to the limit all the way to the checkered flag.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Todd lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Bottas, Sergio Perez and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Norris, Sainz and Yuki Tsunoda, Gasly, Vettel, Fernando Alonso and Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Great start to the season. Let's convert this pole into a win. Everything looks good on the... Okay, how was the pull away? You'll have a bit more grip than that on the start, but we need to warm the tyres properly now. Make sure you get some heat into the brakes as well. Understood, copy that. Pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps. Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now. The drivers we're racing are Verstappen and Hamilton. The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights. Copy that. Pit window opens in 5 laps time. 5 laps. Verstappen ahead. Our gap to the car in front is 2.1 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 1 lap old. We think they've got 1 more stop. The time last lap was a 1:33.3. DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Only one stop to go. One stop left in this strategy. Pit window will open in 3 laps time. Pit window opens in 3 laps. Good job, nice overtake. We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums. Verstappen is ahead of you. The gap to the car ahead is 4.4 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 3 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1 minute 33.1. You're dropping back by around 1.4 seconds. Careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now. We're leading our teammate by 5.0 seconds. A new strategy is available on the MFD.